From the You Hear Good Things podcast network, here is Running in Slow Motion with Sidney and Tamra Smith.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Running in Slow Motion. What are you smiling about? Say something. You can't. People are listening. You just can't shake your head. What are you
I'd like to watch you do the intro.
All right. Well, welcome back, guys, to another episode of Running in Slow Motion. I am your host, Sidney Smith, with my wife,
Tamra Smith.
Before we get into this week's episode, I want to give a shout out to everybody who listened to the episode we dropped earlier this week. Thank you guys very much. The reviews were very kind, and I appreciate it. And Tamra got what she wanted, and people know she's alive, and they like her.
They like me better.
No one said they like you better.
I'm just saying.
They just said they like you.
Okay.
All right. So shout out to Mary and Ryan for listening, and Maddie, Brian and Emily, and again, it's a long list of folks. But thank you to everyone. Just wanted to mention a few names, though.
Thank you very much.
That's it.
That's very kind. Sidney has kept me up to date on reviews. I'm not great at this whole podcast thing, so I'm glad that you're helping me out. Well,
it wasn't like I was helping you out. It was more like you was treating me like I'm like your supervisor and I'm an employee. It's kind of as if I was supposed to just be reporting stats to you as you sat behind your big desk.
I don't know the backside of a podcast, so I still have to learn that. I see, what you do with the microphone and the recording of it, but I don't get to see like after that. Where does it go? How do people see it?
That's right. You don't need to see any of that stuff.
I know.
Back away, all right? Because I'm like the great Wizard of Oz.
I have to come to you like you are the great Wizard of Oz and be like, so what's happening?
Right. Ryan, I talked to Ryan, my buddy Ryan Henry, known him a long time. Love that guy. He's one of the few friends I had that we just go back and forth and talk shit. And he used to be a skinny white dude, but now I call him Little Husky. And but he still talks as much shit. And so we were going back and forth, and he said, I love listening to you guys because your relationship sounds like mine and Miranda's, which is his wife. He said, I just be buzzing her balls, and we just laugh so much. It's like, she's my best friend. He's like, man, you guys are so much like us. He said, I love listening to it.
Really quickly, I'll get back to that, but I would like to report that today's word is voil. On your screen.
All right, now it says folio. So, what are we doing here, nerd?
Well, we might have to have a segment of like what today's dictionary word is on your screen.
We can do that. But they flow through. It's commodity, coda, windrow, replicate. They're coming through. Coda, a noun, the concluding passage of a piece of movement, typically forming an addition to the basic structure.
So back to Ryan.
Yeah.
I think it's nice to hear that other people are like us because I don't know that we come across a lot of couples that are like us, just kind of chill. We get along. There's not really a lot of drama in our lives, so.
Yeah, I don't. Well, you know what? We don't hang out with a lot of couples either, but we are very particular. But I think some of the couples that we would like to hang out are normally busy. They have kids. Yeah. The soccer games, we don't have any kids, stuff like that. So I think that's a lot of it. And, probably if we are alike with those couples, we kind of like just being by ourselves. A lot.
We are kind of loners, I guess.
We like to get up. I tell people all the time, and I'll say it on stage sometimes, we like to just sit and watch documentaries, or we'll get up and go grab a coffee and go by Arrowhead and maybe do some shopping and go to a bookstore and hang out, and then we just come home. We'll pick up something we probably shouldn't eat, and come home and just eat and just kind of chill. What do you make that face?
Because usually it's you wanting Cinnabon, and then you try to talk me into having Cinnabon.
Hold on.
So you feel less guilty about eating Cinnabon.
No.
And even if I say, no, I don't want Cinnabon, you still order me a small one.
You are the biggest.
So that I don't ask for any of yours later, which I appreciate.
You are the biggest liar.
That's what all husbands should do.
You are the biggest liar when it comes to this stuff. You're the one when you are going to have a little cheat day, extra cheat day. You're the one that tries to so quietly get me to agree to Popeye's chicken or some shit.
That's not cheating.
Yeah, right.
It's protein.
Yeah, it's protein, fried protein. So that, you're going to try to put that shit on
You got to
me?
have a good balance of fats and protein.
I cannot believe. But anyway, thank you guys very much. We appreciate it.
The word is now manipulate.
Yeah, which is exactly
you
what
do
which is
listen
what you
upon.
just tried to do. I'm glad that came up. My computer was listening. But Mary said something nice about it. She said, "You son," I'm trying to paraphrase as best I can here. I don't have the quote up in front of me. She sent a long list of things she liked about the podcast. But I do that to people. People say I like something. I'm like, well, why? So tell me what it is you like about it, because just telling me you like it, you could just be polite, possibly.
Yeah.
So I'll put your ass to the test and ask you what. But Mary's always good with sending a long list of stuff. And Mary's always good with coming out to support. She's been out. She came out to my movie premiere. She comes out to a lot of shows. So she hits the Patreon, supports us there. By the way, you can support also by going to Sidney Smith Creative, CRE8TIV.com, and going and clicking on that Patreon button and jumping on there. It's all kind of good bonus stuff over there. And we'll be starting some bonus episodes of this show as well to put up there. But she had a lot of nice things to say about you. She said you sounded sweet and like you're kind, and she loves to see the other side and all that kind of stuff. She doesn't see you right now as you making this face. Go ahead and say what the hell you're getting ready to say.
I would like to just report that I just found out the extra work that my manager has scheduled for me because I didn't know about all the extra stuff.
What you talking about, the bonus episode?
Yes.
What you think this was?
I think that's like some form of like quiet hiring or something. Is that what they call it now? Like you're giving me extra jobs to do the one job that I agreed to.
I'm so tired of these people with their overuse of words. Now it's quiet hiring, it's quiet quitting, everything, and everybody's woke. Everyone gets a hold of a word, and how can I take it and use it as an adjective for everything? It's just it bothers me. But no. What you think is what most people think, that this is not work. This is fucking work. This is fucking work. And you get to just come in and do this part and walk away. Like you're a star, like you're the lead singer
this is the hard
of NSYNC. This is the hard part.
This is the important part.
Is this you being a dick again? You being a dick again. I told you it was Maddie, good friend of ours, Maddie. He listened. He said he loved it. He, again, sent me quite a few things. And one of the things he said was he would love to hear us chat with some other couples.
Okay.
And so what did you think of that idea? I mentioned it to you, but I really wanted to wait to hear what you thought on the podcast.
I think I have mixed feelings about it because it would depend on the couple.
Of course.
Because there are some couples that don't appreciate my viewpoint in marriage, or how I treat you as my husband, or how, just to be like completely frank, like I'm okay with you making a lot of decisions, and I don't argue about it or anything like that, especially not in public.
Chicken pot pie.
So usually, you make decisions, and people think that you make all my decisions, and I'm okay with people thinking that, but they don't ever get to see the backside of our marriage where we have conversations about things and we have agreements about things, and so when you sit down to have conversations with people, they don't have all of that background knowledge that we have about our marriage. And so sometimes it makes me nervous because I will answer things honestly. Yeah. And then they look at me like...
Yeah, but I don't think that's something you should be overly concerned with, whether it be on the podcast or outside the podcast. I don't know why that's something that's... I mean, why does that concern you, I guess, would be my question. I don't want to interview you. That's what I don't want this podcast to be. But I am curious to know why you even are concerned with it.
I think because marriages are... special and unique, and you are never going to know the full extent of a couple's marriage. And so when I talk about things or give feedback about things that we do or believe or practice in our marriage, I don't want another woman to feel insecure in her marriage because they choose to do something different. And oftentimes I feel like that's what happens.
Yeah, but you can't. You can't control. Like Cat Williams has this great, and I don't do other comedians' bits, so I'm not going to do his bit. But the premise of it is people complaining and by insecurity, and you're not helping to help them with their security, and he just talks about is your insecurity, not my insecurity, not the world's insecurity. So you can't help these people if they lack something.
I think also it comes out of, last week we talked about me being private and closed off. And sometimes when I open up about things or we talk about things with other couples, sometimes not nice things are said to me. And I don't want to be in that situation.
Are you talking about the one time that happened here at the house when we had people over?
Yeah.
Yeah. I figured that's what you were talking about. But I think when you look at that, I always say, look at those couples.
Yeah.
And I don't think those couples are as happy as we are.
Yeah.
And as genuine as we are. Like when you come to our home and we come to your home, what you see is what you fucking get.
Yeah.
We're not faking it. Like I joke with you before we get out of the car, like, hey, yeah, you got
act like you're happy.
Act like you're happy. Act like we're in love, But we are,
Yeah.
And I don't think everyone is. And so I think that's a them thing, not a you thing.
Yeah. So that would be my only reservation about it. But, I'm always open to talking.
And we're not going to just have anybody on.
Well, I'm always open to talking to people and hearing, other things. But I just know that this works for us and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Well, from an entertainment standpoint, I want people to obviously love us as our podcast. But also I want people to hear other voices and other opinions also. But at the other part of me as well, being a producer and entertainer, it has to make sense entertainment-wise as well.
Yeah.
So not that we're going to come on and have an old school Jerry Seinfeld argument, but we have difference of opinions on how we handle things. Like, I don't even mind because the one thing that's crazy is our relationship is what our relationship is, and you kind of put the blanket on what it is. But I tell people all the time who disagree with it, look, that's what works for us. Mm-hmm. And if what works for you is that she does all the speaking or the decision making or however you want to put it, then that's what works for you. Everyone's shit is going to be different. I know plenty of women out there who run that household.
Yeah.
And when I say run it, they run it. Like that dude has no say so in anything at all. And if that's what works for them, it wouldn't work for me. But if that's what works for him and works for them, God help you.
Yeah. I can understand that. And I mean, I'm open to talking to other people, but like you said, it would have to be the right couple. And
it's almost like we're thinking about swinging. yeah, sure, I'm open to it. But who are you thinking about doing it with? I feel like
I'm like, you give me your top three, and I'll give you my top three. And if any of them overlap, then that's who we're going with.
That's exactly who we're going with. But I feel like that's like a setup question, like forever. Like, well, tell me who were you thinking? You were like that question. Like,
oh my gosh!
Tell me who you were thinking you wanted to fuck. Tell me who at the barbecue you've been thinking about laying the pipe to. Well, Karen. I was having a good conversation with Karen. Fuck that bitch. Karen's never allowed to come over here again. There will be no swapping. Which is you and I are not into that. Just for the record, Tamra and I are not into that. Even if I wanted to, Tamra would kill me. She would absolutely kill me if I brought that to the table. I know you would. and there's a huge community for people who don't live in the valley. There is a huge community of wife swappers going on here north of us and to the west of us.
Not in this house.
That's it. You guys think she's kidding. Even when she's serious, she laughs at the end. That's why people think you're always nice. They don't know. They don't know you're a dick.
Well, I say all the time, I waited till I was in my 30s to get married. And
I know you told me some crazy psycho shit like we're going to die together at the same time on the Notebook.
I mean, it could happen.
No, and it's not how it happens. And I've told everyone if we go at the same time to look into a murder-suicide, that's what happened.
It's not what happened.
If we died at the same time holding hands?
Yeah, it's just we loved each other so much, like the Notebook.
We live a long time on my side of the family. I'm
going to live a long time.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. But if I go before at least 90, don't be making those faces. Don't be making those faces. What's up?
I listen to our podcast.
Oh, the one we did? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know if I was going to want to because I think my biggest fear was I was like, I don't want to hear myself.
No one ever does. I don't like to hear
I did
myself.
not want to hear myself.
I don't like it.
But we do listen to another podcast of another, couple, and I found us to be more genuinely entertaining. Like I laugh.
Don't say the name of that podcast.
I'm not saying it.
All right, good.
I'm not saying. I don't even remember what the name is.
Good.
That's how bad my memory is.
Good.
But I just know that we listened to it. But I genuinely laughed at our podcast. I laughed at our conversations and I I enjoyed it. So
yeah, it's I listened to it as well because I wanted to hear what it sounds like. And what I told some people who were like, they were surprised you were doing a podcast. And that's what, and Brian Turpay, good friend of ours that we mentioned, he and his wife Emily both listened to it as well. He texted me and he said, you sounded like a natural. And I texted him back. I got to hit him up and see if he finished it. But I said, you can hear her get more comfortable as the podcast goes. And I feel like the podcast got better as you get more comfortable, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't think it started out bad, but you just hear you relax. But to him and to other folks, you sound like you were just a natural on it. But you're a great speaker, and you're smart, and you're witty, as Luke was saying the other night. So I told him, I was not surprised you were going to be good at this.
yeah, I think in the beginning I was nervous, just like holding the microphone, and I
you should
just
have been.
moved it all around.
Yeah,
doing
folks,
it right now.
Yeah, you did that just unnerved
just
me.
to see your face.
I'm like, what are you doing? Put it on your chin. And you know how to put it on your chin.
For those of you who can't see, I just waved the microphone all around, so it wasn't near my mouth, just because I knew it was going to drive him crazy.
Put it close to your mouth. You know.
But I think that, I was nervous. So
Yeah.
I didn't know where to hold the microphone and how loudly to speak. And so I was nervous about it. But I think as we started talking and I was like, oh, this is kind of just like when we're sitting and talking when we're driving somewhere or in the living room. So it's just our normal conversations.
So I went out. The other night and had a couple of beers with the fellas. And it was with Matt and Luke. I'll say their names. It was Matt and Luke. And we were talking about the podcast. And then we're talking about the story we talked about last week about the Hilton and them not wanting to they're pushing us off to other hotels. And they're like, man, we didn't know that. I can't believe we never knew that. And so the rest of the night, the running joke was every chance Matt got a chance, he dropped the Hilton in. Like, I'm going to go get a room at the Hilton. or for the special, he's like, yeah, I think we'll get a room.
I'm going to have to save that. Like, when I'm really mad at you and you're like, go sleep in the spare room. And I'll be like, I'm going to get a room at the Hilton.
You're a dick. What a dick.
Just so everybody knows, nobody sleeps in the spare room. Nobody sleeps on the couch. That's like a firm rule in our house.
Absolutely.
Mostly because I'm not sleeping in the spare room and he says he's not sleeping in the spare room. So we just end up back in bed together.
That was it. You're mad, just look over there. Don't lay on my chest. Just turn over there and look over there.
But now
You gonna go at the Hilton?
I might get a room at the Hilton.
You spend any of our money at the Hilton. Divorce. You would die without me there. So they thought it was just hilarious, busting my balls about the Hilton and dropping it at every chance I get. But I stayed out later with Luke and Matt ended up leaving, and we ended up talking about relationships and that his past ones and talking about our marriage and everything, and talking about when I knew I was going to marry you. And I know I've told you this before, but I've not told these people who are listening to this podcast knew this before. So I knew I was going to marry you when nobody cared about me and my comedy. I went out to LA and I was doing bar shows, but I thought this was the greatest thing in the world. Like, I wasn't even doing clubs here, there, anywhere. And I remember when I talked to you the next day and said, how did it go? I said, oh my God, it's so great here. I love it here. This is awesome. I got to get here. And the first thing that came out of your mouth was, well, what do we need to do to get you there? Mm-hmm. And I knew, boom, I'm marrying this woman because it's not a lot of people you meet romantically or even people that you grow up with or even fucking family, for crying out loud. Yeah. That's willing to drop everything. And folks, when I say she has a lot going on now, she had a lot going on then. You know, this is a very smart woman, degreed, career going. The woman was willing to drop everything to go to LA and bag groceries or work at a cash register. And I said, absolutely not. We're not going to go and do that because I thought that would put more stress on us, the relationship, by her giving up everything to go do that. But I knew then that I was going to marry you. But in telling Luke's that, he's just, oh my God, that is just so. And he just starts. I'm like, are you all right? He's like, I'm just a little emotional.
Hey.
I know. Then he hugs me. Then he hugs me. No, fuck that. Then he hugs me, and I'm looking at him. He's got real tears. I'm like, are you crying? He's like, I'm just a little emotional right now. And I was, you know me. I was uncomfortable. Like I was looking for someone, for another adult to come over and help me with the situation. I wanted to do a Homer Simpson and just drift into the wall, but I couldn't. But anyway, I wanted to share that story because Luke made me laugh when he started crying. But definitely, that's what I wanted to share. What do you want about?
I remember you came home and told me about this, and I said, you know that when you get drunk, you get really emotional, right? And you said, no, I don't. So if anybody listens to this and you've been in the same room when Sidney has given you an emotional speech, comment on this.
Am I crying? I'm not crying.
Sometimes almost.
No,
you are very sentimental. Last week we talked about how when I drink, I get very happy.
Yeah.
But when you drink, I won't say you get very emotional, but you get sentimental. Like that's when you tell people how much they mean to you and how much you appreciate them in your life. And so when you came home and told me about Luke, I was like, you know. You do the same thing, right?
Look, first of all, I don't. Because Luke cried.
Well, you don't remember because you're drunk.
No, Luke cried. There was tears flowing out of his face. So it's not even close to the same thing.
I think you're going to have friends comment on this and tell you different.
I think I have friends who are dicks saying they would make up anything to agree with you. Like they always do.
That's it. I just recently learned how to make a TikTok, so from now on, I'm gonna record these sentimental speeches and make a compilation TikTok.
I love the fact that you learn how to do something, and your first thing you're gonna do is use it against me. The first thing you learn how to do.
I'm not using it against you.
You are using it against me. The first chance you get to do something, you're gonna be evil with it.
Well, I gotta learn the breadth of the program. You know, like I already learned that I can post flowers, and everybody loves flowers, and they love dogs, and so now I gotta see what else.
So now a science experiment. First thing you're gonna do is use it against me. You know I know how to use TikTok now. Like an evil genius from those movies.
Oh my goodness.
Why would you do that? I learned how to use TikTok and I had no choice but to do mean things with it.
I really do hope somebody reaches out and tells you that you were sentimental though.
Oh, fuck.
Just as proof because you think I'm lying.
No, well, here's what I would say to that person. Whoever tells me this is what I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you right now. Fuck off. So I will tell you. Right now, I'm going to tell you right now what I'm going to tell you if you come at me with any of that nonsense. Look, man, I'm pretty I got like a steel case around my heart. So.
I know you do.
Thank you.
Most of the time.
Look at dick. But yeah, so I wanted to share that story because I did not tell Luke that I was going to share that story. And he said he's going to listen to the podcast. And I want to test and see if he's actually
listening. See if he listens.
Listen to the podcast. Maddie, you better not tell him, Maddie. You better not tell him. So great reviews. I have a good time with it, man. I'm glad we're doing it, though. I'm glad we're doing the podcast.
Me too. I think that, we've always had really good conversations. And, I hope that... And you know me, like I'm all about helping people, and that's probably something that's good about me and a flaw.
Don't do this. Go ahead.
But I think it would, I think for some people, maybe people who don't know us, they would like to hear us have conversations and how we talk through things. So.
Yeah, did we talk about this last week? I don't remember, but I just want to make sure we're not giving relationship advice.
We're not.
Yeah, because I don't think anyone knows what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, you have couples out there that sit back, whether they're on podcasts or they're talk shows or they're church leaders walking around and acting like they've got it all figured out and this is how you should do shit. And then the next thing you know, you find out that they're human. And there's nothing wrong with it. That is my biggest thing, is that people put other people on these platforms and look up to them and just forget that these people are human just like you.
Yeah, but I'm not thinking of it in that way. I'm thinking like even just recently. So I'll give you an example. I've had some books that I wanted to read for work, and some of them are really hard to read because it's just fact after fact after fact.
Just dry.
But then some books, like I just read a book called The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, and that one was written in a story, right? So because it wasn't just like, this is how you need to do it, these are the things you need to do, it actually gave a story of how the process worked and how the team worked and things like that. It made it relatable and I made me think like, oh yeah, I can do that. You know, I'm like that person. And so I think sometimes when people just hear people, it's not that we're saying, hey, you need to do X, Y, and Z to have a great marriage. We're not doing that. We're just living our lives and being who we are while having a good marriage. And I think that when people see that and experience
It's
it,
It's an okay marriage.
it's just an okay marriage.
It's a solid 5.
I know, he says solid 5.
Solid, strong.
I don't know where that's from because remember, I don't remember stuff from movies or.
No, it's from, you don't come to shows. So you'll hear the joke when I shoot the special on November 11th.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
So I don't know the joke.
You put it down, it's a solid 5. But because you don't come to the joke. So you don't
Just so everybody knows, sometimes I ask him like, hey, tell me some of the jokes that you're doing so that I know what you're saying. And he says, come to a show.
Well, I'm going to sit up here and do my set for you.
You don't have to do your set.
Well, just sit down. Get some, you want to drink some popcorn?
I can set up a chair.
You turn these fucking lamps.
turn your white lights on you so it's like a spotlight.
I'm gonna hold this mic so it's not really on, but I need to hold the mic so I could just. Could you announce me?
So you
Fuck no! Come to a show. I'm not gonna tell me what jokes. This is like the minute I start checking in with you on what material I'm doing, then I'm checking in on shit all the time. It's like women who want to know all of a guy's friends all the time and wants to be around listening. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Well, which is why you're one of the favorites of the guys, because like you're not nosy and you're not trying to sit around and listen to conversations and all that kind of stuff, which very quietly men resent. So any women out there, if you sit around when your guy has his friends over and they're watching a game or playing cards and you just find it necessary to be in the room, sitting right there, hanging on every fucking word, I want you to know something. All of your husband's friends, and even they hate you. They hate you.
Yeah, I remember that one time I was here. You had all the guys over playing cards, and I was in the room asleep. It was probably like 12, maybe midnight, 1 o'clock, and I called you on your cell phone from our bedroom and was like, hey, can you bring me some water? And you got up to bring me water, and the guys were like, she's here?
Yeah. The whole time she's been here in the fucking bedroom, knocked out. Because we were loud.
You were really loud.
Yeah, we were loud. Well, I mean, it's fucking 12:30. We're drinking, we're doing shots, we're playing cards, telling a lot of lies.
I didn't hear any of them.
I know. Well, that's the favorite part of getting together with the guys. Is that's the other thing, ladies. Don't be around, because the guys, we have a lot of lies to tell. Whether it be all the ass we got before we got married or whatever it is. We can't tell those lies if you're sitting there. You're fucking up the flow.
I will say, though, while I'm not listening to what you guys talk about.
Oh, God. Now you fucked up everything I said. Now you're going to let it out. I've been listening the whole time.
I'm just kidding. I'm done.
No, well, go ahead. What you going to say?
I was just going to say you gossip just like women do.
Of course guys gossip.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, we don't gossip just like you all, because you guys gossip and then you hate each other because you slip into some shit you shouldn't be talking about.
Oh.
That's way different. But guys definitely gossip. Go ahead. You're about to say something.
Oh, I was just saying that, or I was thinking that my bedtime's at 8 o'clock. So anything that happens.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Anything that happens after 8 o'clock, I don't hear.
Look, that's why we had to race to do this podcast recording tonight, because I'm talking to you earlier. You know, I don't want to be up. I don't want to start late, like at 8 o'clock. I'm like, are you kidding me? You don't want to be up late. You don't want to start the podcast at 8 because it's so late, old woman.
I worked a long day.
I don't care if you didn't do anything all day. 8 o'clock, you would still think it's late. Stop.
I would.
Right. I worked a long day.
I could have literally woken up late, taken a nap, and still go to bed at 8 o'clock.
Yes, you could. Yes, you could. And I cannot do that. I can't go to sleep at 8 and sleep all night. You can. I'm up at 2 o'clock if I go to bed at 8 o'clock.
I've read a lot of research that says women need way more sleep than men. So
first of all, there is some research, and nowhere in it does it say way more.
Way more.
It just says more.
A lot more.
No, it doesn't say a lot more either. Why do you get on the podcast and lie? I told people that how nice we were. As soon as I hit record.
Well, when I read it, it said way more. I don't know which research you read, but
you obviously didn't see.
One I read.
You obviously didn't see the right text there, like you couldn't see an apple in your brain if I told you to envision it.
That's probably true, but I do remember.
That's why we can't finish The Lincoln Lawyer or anything else we watched together.
Well, that's a good show, though. I did stay up the other night for like 3 episodes. I was way past my bedtime.
Lincoln Lawyer, if you have not watched it, we are late on it. So if you've watched it and you're up on it before us, who cares? All right.
We just discovered it.
Just discovered it. I was really avoiding it because it's going to be another hack Netflix
but it's
show.
So good.
It is good. I think I want to squeeze in an episode tonight before I go to bed. But it's definitely a good show. You should check it out. We're still in the first season, so do not message me or message us with any of your
absolutely not
giveaways of what's going on.
No.
We are 2 seasons behind.
Well, I was thinking about that actually today when I was driving to work, because I was thinking about us talking last week how I watched Twilight and Hunger Games over and over, which I watched it again the other night. But I thought that, lately we've found some really good shows that we can sit and watch together that actually capture my attention. Because there's not a lot of shows that like pull me in. Like I struggle with that.
Well, I wonder if couples in general struggle with it, because like the one thing about us when it comes to TV shows, if we don't like it, we just don't watch it together.
Yeah.
If one doesn't, the other one will just watch it.
Well, we like 2 different things. You love horror movies and shooting, fighting, killing shows, and I don't like that stuff.
First of all, I like a lot of different
glittery
things.
Vampires.
There you go.
And
you like anything
romance and
you like
comedy.
anything that you would find at Barnes and Noble in the teen fiction area. What? I'm like, why are you know you're way too old to be watching this.
But lately we have like a good chunk of shows that we've actually been watching together.
We like From.
Yeah, that one like driving me crazy still, because I can't figure it out.
Well, I told you I'm this close to being out on it because it's by the same team that did Lost.
I didn't watch Lost,
Right,
so
well,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I gave Lost about a season and a half, I should say. This is back when they were doing real seasons. And I said, I'm out on this because this is going absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, I like that one. And then we also have started watching Silo.
Yeah, Silo's really good on Apple TV.
That one's so good.
Mm-hmm. And I like that one a lot. I'm a big Tim Robbins fan to begin with, so I like him a lot.
I don't know who that is, but I like him too.
just been around forever. The tall guy who plays the mayor.
Yeah, I don't know that either.
I just told you he plays the mayor.
Oh, in the show.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now I know.
Are you even watching the show?
Yeah, I am. I didn't know you meant the mayor in the show. I thought you the mayor or something.
The mayor of Phoenix.
I don't know. Sorry, I told you it's been a long day.
Wait a minute.
I was a little slow to catch up.
Talk about Silo. You know who I really like? The mayor. What she's doing with downtown is simply amazing. Right? She's really turned it around. You know what's funny? I have no idea what the mayor of Phoenix's name is. So I think that broad's voice came on at the airport. I was like, oh, that's what that bitch sounds like. I have no idea. Does she speak at anything?
I don't know.
I still don't know her name. But yes, Tim Robbins, the tall guy that plays the mayor of Silo. It's a good show. So that's just and the Crowded Room. We like the Crowded Room.
That one was really good too.
Yeah, who's the main character? That
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. I did not. More and more these actors I'm finding out are from overseas. I had no idea. Was he Australian?
I think he's from London.
Is he from London? Okay.
Yeah. I actually just watched an interview of him yesterday, and he talked about how critics gave him horrible reviews for that show, and I'm like, what? I thought it was great.
Yeah. Did he happen to say what type of reviews he got on it?
I don't really remember exactly what they said, but he just said he had horrible reviews. I can't remember. What is that site that...
Rotten Tomatoes, I bet.
Yes.
Yeah. That
he had bad reviews, and I was like, I think it's great.
I think it's one of those shows, and I warn anyone out there who listens to this and says, well, I'm going to watch that. I don't, and this is why I'm surprised you even liked it. It's kind of slow getting to where it gets to. And so if you don't have the willpower to kind of hang in there, you will drift off on it. And you will say this has been a complete waste of time. So it's just one of those shows, though. It takes a while to get there.
And one of the shows that we have kind of put on the back burner that I'm kind of sad about is Yellowstone. Because I have to say...
Why are you sad? We can always go back.
Beth is like my favorite character.
She's awesome.
Of any show I've ever watched, because I'm usually kind of critical of women because they make them very weak in movies and shows, and I hate that.
Yeah, it's that way.
But with her, man... She's great.
It kind of makes you wish you could do some shit like she does, I feel like. That's what
No, maybe not.
Walk around and just come outside with your clothes off and get into a tub with a bunch of workers out there with you. Don't let me see. When the landscaper comes by, you better have your ass in the house with a robe on.
I can't have my butt up.
It's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem.
No, I just think she's a very strong woman, and she handles business in that show. But she's still very feminine, and she's still emotional, and I just love that character.
Well, I think we talked about it. I think you touched on it, and we talked about it before together. I can't think of another character. I'm sure maybe there has been. I can't think of it, though, where they've written what appears. Normally, I say, especially with a lot of what they've been doing in Hollywood, trying to fit different genders and whatnot into different roles. To me, sometimes it looks like they've tried to squeeze, like this role was originally written for a man, but let's squeeze this into a woman because we want to check a box.
I feel like they almost reverse roles in that show with the son and the daughter. So like because the son is very emotional, very, very much like they would usually portray a woman, and she's more like how they would portray a man.
But I would slightly disagree with you. So I will say yes, she is more like, but they do a great job of it. She does a great job with that character, and they do a great job of writing. With Jamie, I would say I agree with you up to a certain extent, because I know men who feel like they're always constantly trying to prove something to their dads. Yeah. And they are very emotional that way when they feel like they're not meeting that high point that they're
getting the recognition that they're hoping for.
Yeah, but it's almost even, and again, that's why I think the writing is so great with Yellowstone. It's not even just I'm not getting the recognition for the things I'm able to do, but you're double slapping me because I'm not the same type of man you are either. Yeah. Because you, somewhere in either in my head or in reality, you're still comparing me to my other brothers. Yeah. You know, the other one who's his younger brother, and then the older brother who's actually supposed to be the one who died early on. And if you are just catching on Yellowstone, fuck you for not knowing what I just said. It's your problem. The show's been on for fucking 10 years now. But the other son, the oldest son that dies early on, who was supposed to really take over the business. Yeah. Before everything went haywire.
But we've not watched any of the spinoffs, or the prequels or whatever those shows were. So we're probably behind a lot of people.
I can't get into. I mean, that's a lot of stuff.
It is.
That's a lot of stuff. Like, you got your NYP, or not your NYPD. You got your Law and Order. Now you want me to watch SVU. Then you want me to watch this Law and Order. Then now he's got Chicago PD, and then he's got Hospital PD and fired Chicago. I can't look here, Mr. Big Wolf. I can't keep up with all your shit you keep spinning off into, man. Then you're crossing them over, and I can't do all this, man. Now you brought Chris Manoli back. And he's got his own fucking Law and Order. I can't keep up with all this.
Yeah. Well, and to be honest, we can really only handle a small rotation of shows because
we don't watch a lot of stuff.
No, because I can't stay up past 8 o'clock. So there's not enough days in the week to catch up on everything.
Look, between this puppy and the work days, I think we've both been hitting the bed a little. I've been trying to make myself stay awake a little later so I don't wake up at 2:30 in the morning. I'm sitting in my office.
I feel like I'm running on fumes.
The puppies are killing me, man.
And it's not just the puppy, but Mo is just horrible. What has happened to her?
I'm sorry, what was that word?
Horrible.
She said horrible.
She has just, I don't know.
How
like,
many long drinks you had?
I'm just thinking, like, I wonder if people who have had kids, and then you have the second child, just that jealousy. Like she doesn't want the puppy to have anything. She doesn't want us to touch the puppy without petting her first. Like, it's just a whole thing.
She's jumping up on the bed now.
Oh my gosh.
I
don't even know where that came from.
From the puppy. The puppy has ruined everything. This puppy, I'm with Mo. This puppy has changed our whole lives.
She's so cute though.
She's peeing on the dog bed. I'm like, what are you doing?
She was scared.
Get out of here, dude. Get out of here. She's over here. She does what she wants. Like I told you earlier today, she's out there attacking Mo. This dog is all of fucking 15 pounds if she is. She's out here attacking a 75-pound pit bull, biting on the back of the neck, jumping up, trying to hang on to her, grab her by the ear.
She's got grit.
And then I come around the corner. She just stops, looks at me. How long you been there?
Yeah, so I think we're just running on fumes.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're definitely running on fumes right now because I am carrying this show tonight.
I know. I'm sorry.
Pull your shit together.
I apologize to everybody.
No, don't apologize. Do better. Don't apologize.
Maybe next time we should record this at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Are you kidding me? Mm-mm. Why you keep kicking me, bro? Say excuse me or something.
Excuse me.
You kicked me 3 times and you can adjust your legs.
I apologize. I'll do better next time.
It's too late to apologize. I'll do better next time. You were kicking the shit out of me, man. There you go again. There you go again. Here I was worried about you working the day out in the heat and you come home and abuse me.
That was funny.
What's so funny about it?
When I called you today and I was like, I'm moving these boxes, and you're like, are you supposed to be doing that? Isn't there a maintenance person who can do that? It was just hot today.
I feel like Keke Palmer's ex-boyfriend, baby daddy, or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
Hey man, she was just having a good time. She was at an Usher concert.
I can't.
You can't what?
I just can't. You always say, that there's one thing that a man can't do to a woman.
No.
And that is embarrass her.
Can't embarrass her in public.
Yeah. And he absolutely embarrassed her in public. And I know you had texted me or asked me or something about what I thought about it. But honestly, I didn't see anything wrong with her outfit. That's normally what she would wear. I wouldn't wear that because that's not who I am. Mm-hmm. That's not how I dress. I've always been a very modest person. But if I wasn't modest and that's how I dressed, you probably wouldn't be sitting here right now because
you wouldn't be sitting here right now. I mean, you acting like you'd be up in the piece. Like where the hell am I at?
No, I'm just saying, like you knew who you were marrying,
exactly.
and I think that's who she is. I mean, her outfits are always loud and draw attention, and she's loud and she draws attention, and she's an entertainer, and so.
See, I didn't know that. Like, I didn't know that side of her, to be honest with you, because I don't pay that much attention to Keke Palmer, and so that's what on the other podcast. Now it's debatable with Deion Curry. Deion was saying the same thing.
Yeah,
like this is what she does.
That's her personality, and so. I saw nothing wrong with her outfit. I think that he just doesn't know who he's with and he expected her to change. And maybe they didn't have those private conversations. But I do know that if I did something that upset you, you would not get on Twitter and embarrass me in public about it. We would have a conversation about it.
Well, most definitely. But the other thing I said before that, on the other pod and with friends of mine is, where the hell is his friends at? You don't have a friend, an uncle that you could talk to?
Like, hey, can you read this tweet before I send it?
Not even that. They should be able to get you to a level where you don't need to tweet.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like he was complaining about this outfit before she left the house, and she ain't listened. And so he thought, I'm going to tweet about this. But he shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
It was like he went out of his way to try to shame her, which is not a good look. And the other thing is, I don't think a man and this goes back to what I was saying about our relationship as well. I don't think a man can take this moral high ground. At least put a ring on her finger.
I was going to talk about that.
Yeah, some people,
because you're talking about these morals and whatever else, but I'm like, you just had a child and you're not even married.
She's still pregnant, right?
I think she.
I thought she was still pregnant.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into that. But I think she just had the baby.
You're right. I think that she did.
And this is like her bounce back. She feels good about herself.
Yeah.
She's a new mother.
Yeah.
She, and I commend that because, a lot of people might not feel that way about themselves after having a child. Your body changes, your hormones change. There's a lot going on, and for her to be able to live in her own skin and be happy with her body and still express herself as she's a woman. She's not just a mother and a girlfriend now. And I think that I commend that. I mean, that's not how I would dress, but I think she looked great.
No, I'm with you, and you're right. She's not still pregnant, so she did have the baby. And I don't think that's where he lost me too. I'm with you with the word moral.
Yeah.
And if you're out there doing whatever you want to do, you do whatever you want to do.
You'd have married her before this baby was born.
I absolutely would have. I absolutely, and not to say that that's always right either.
No.
But
that is true.
But I would have, especially the younger me, would have done that because I would have felt that's the right thing to do if I'm trying to have that moral high ground.
Yeah.
But at minimum, you don't have a ring on her finger, bro. And so I don't think you put yourself in a real position to say my family and what I think my family and my family and my family. You don't really have a family.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Now, everybody out there can think what they want to think, but he put himself out there, and that's where my mind went with it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Absolutely.
Now, I don't think she should have been out there wearing what she was wearing either. I don't. But you made a great point. This is just like dudes back in the day who want to date strippers, and then when they're dating them, they're all pissed off because she still goes to work every fucking day. Well, where did you meet her? You met her in the strip club. That's what she did. She did that beforehand. That's what she does now. What's the face over here? What's the face? What's that?
I'm just thinking, people, even men, wear things all the time that they maybe shouldn't wear, but they do anyway.
Like what?
Gray sweatpants.
You know what? Let me just sit back here and let you explain to the audience.
That outfit was the equivalent of gray sweatpants.
Explain to the people out there who may not know what your psychosis is talking about.
I don't think I have to explain that. Every woman listening to this,
the men may not know.
They will know.
So go ahead.
Most of them will. They just gray sweatpants. They show everything.
Okay.
Just like her dress did.
Hers
just showed the back in gray sweatpants.
Is this where you tell people how you come over to a nut check on me whenever I wear my gray sweatpants out?
I do not. I just say, you know
it's right, and you do come over and get all kind of handsy, like, hey, they can see all my stuff. It's like you put it. Like, yo, look at my t-shirt.
Well,
these great sweatpants.
Shouldn't have all our business out in the streets.
Good thing you put a ring on my finger.
That's right.
So you can stand on your moral high ground.
It took me 5 years.
Look, I remember people used to always say this: when you guys gonna get married? When you guys gonna get married? None of your business.
Yeah.
We get married, we're gonna get married. But I knew, because I've had, been around for a little while, that women can fool you. So I had to sit back and just make sure what I was getting is what I was getting.
I know that's my absolute favorite thing you said in all the years we've been together.
What's that?
I don't know. We were at some lunch and I was listening, but not listening to you have a conversation with someone. And you said, that's why I waited 5 years to ask her to marry me. And I turned around real quick and I was like, excuse me? I waited 5 years to say yes.
Well, you really didn't. Yeah, because I did hear you say that, and you acted as if I asked you to marry me on day one.
I mean, you did take me looking at rings like really early on. So
when did I take you looking for rings? How early on was this?
Like early.
It was not early. How early was it?
I remember we spent I don't know, before that.
Year 2?
Maybe.
Okay. When did we go looking at rings?
I don't know.
Yes.
I think you wanted to see what size ring I wore or what size diamond I would like.
Well, I'm always thinking ahead, man. I wasn't gonna propose then.
Just saying.
I gotta be 2 steps ahead.
Even if you would have.
But I didn't and wasn't. It's not.
So your argument is I couldn't have said no, or I couldn't have said yes either way.
No, you couldn't have.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna do it. In fact, we were not in a position for it at that time, for sure.
Yeah, you're right.
For sure, we were not in a position to do that. I mean, I had different things I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure our wedding was a certain way and all these different things.
I told you we could have just went to the courthouse.
And what did you say after we didn't go to the courthouse?
I mean, it was a great day.
No, but what did you say?
And I was thankful we did it that
Thank
way.
you.
However,
my ass. First thing you said after we said I do and we kissed, you turned and we saw all those people just looking. I'm glad we did it this way. Whisper to me. Get out of here.
Yeah. It was really important to you, and I appreciate that now. You know, back then I was like, we could just get married. Like, this is a lot of money for one day. And I don't know.
If you had been married before, maybe I would have listened to you. Maybe we would have had a destination. But you've never been married in your entire life.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't we, go as all out as we possibly could? So that's where my head was on that. But to each and to everyone, to each his own way. I mean, we've been to all kind of weddings. I've been to weddings where I was like, dude, I can't believe these people are wearing cargo shorts.
It's Arizona. It's hot. Most people wear cargo shorts.
Yeah, which is why we had a dress code for our wedding, because there was absolutely no way there was going to be any cargo shorts at this wedding. Absolutely no way.
I'm sure they would have looked nice still.
No. Can you see my face? People can't see my face. Absolutely not. I mean, seeing these,
I don't know what you have against cargo shorts.
These guys in cargo shorts with Nikes from Target. It's not even, you didn't even go to Foot Locker to get those Nikes. At least spend some money on those Nikes.
It was a good day, though.
It was. So, all right. So just to recap, we're not going to ever do any swinging with any couples. We will have them over, to do a podcast. Maybe I am really interested in building this podcast studio. So I really want us to look at that. Maybe doing that before the end of the year, if possible. I think that'll be a nice look. Get some cameras set up. Oh, that was the other thing. People are like, we got to get some video. I'm like, you already know what we look like. I don't know. Why do you want to see video of us talking?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we need to do all that just yet.
Oh, why? You just getting over it?
I'm just getting used to hearing myself. I don't need to see myself and hear myself.
You're a real weirdo. You know that?
Just saying.
You're a real weirdo.
That's okay. People like weirdos. You married one.
I was getting older.
You were desperate.
I had to lock something in. Me kicking my chair, man.
Well, get your feet out of my space.
This is my space.
Well, if you put a couch in here for me.
No. You're here enough right now to do the podcast.
I've been trying for 3 years to get him to put either a little chair or a couch or something in his office so I could just come sit in here. And he's like, no, you're just going to come sit in here and bother me when I'm trying to work.
That's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to come in here. Like, your favorite thing is when you know I'm involved with something, just to come and just start talking. You don't say, excuse me. You know, just start talking. I'm like, what are you doing right now? You know I'm trying to do this or trying to listen to this, or just start going.
Well, it's okay.
Why is that okay?
Because if I heard somebody talking or you were having a conversation, I would say, excuse me, but you're not. So
I'm sorry. What was that logic again? What happened?
If you were talking to somebody or having a conversation with somebody, I'd say, excuse me.
You know what?
What?
I don't want to name this place, but I went to work out at Stir Crazy, and they have this place next door. Stir Crazy is a comedy club here in the Valley in Arizona, Glendale. And next door, they have this place where you can throw axes and drink liquor. And so I went in because our buddy, my Mongo, was over there. His work, they were having some type of party there. And they made me fill out the form.
Oh, like the consent form.
They're the consent form. I'm like, well, I'm not going to be throwing axes. They're like, yeah, you still got to fill one out.
In case one bounces back and hits you.
I said, well, why? He said, well, you might sit down at the table. And so that's exactly what I thought. So one, I did not sit down at the table. I stood and I kept my eyes up looking at everything at all times. And I was amazed by the amount of people who were sitting at the table with their backs to people who were throwing axes.
Yeah, because some of those axes will hit the wood just right and fly back really far.
I'm more concerned with the person who's pulling back.
Oh, yeah.
On it.
Kind of like bowling when you bring your arm back too far and the ball goes the opposite direction.
Right, because some of the people don't know anything about throwing an axe, so they're just up there trying to throw it as hard as they can. What if the thing slips out and your back is to them and you get hit in the head? I'm like, yo, you need to turn your ass around.
It's like a Final Destination moment.
You in Final Destination, your thing, like you can't even drive. Folks, if she gets behind a truck that's carrying anything that's long that might slip off.
I drive really fast around it.
First thing she says, that's the only time she drives fast around a truck. That's the first thing she says, oh, Final Destination.
Everybody knows that.
No, it's a movie, man.
Okay. Don't drive behind semi-trucks with a bunch of logs.
That's just because you don't.
Everybody will agree with that.
You just do it because it's safe, but your thought is Final Destination, which cracks me up.
There's nothing holding them in there.
I'm surprised you don't watch all of those movies. Don't have those in the background
Like 10
for no
times.
reason. They made like 8 of them.
I didn't see them all.
Really? Mm-mm. No vampires or werewolves in it to keep your
You don't. Nobody glitters.
Fucking glitter vampires. Like, what is this? What is this? They took Interview with a Vampire with Tom Cruise to a whole nother level. Well, what time is it? It's probably
It's
your
almost
bed.
my bedtime.
Oh,
Like,
man,
I got 25 minutes.
Oh man, it's 7:30. We got to get you into bed over here. Hey, folks, just for people out there who may be in the Valley who are listening, I'm going to be at Stir Crazy next weekend. No, not next weekend. 2 weeks. The last weekend of this month, of the month of July. I'll be over there with my good buddy, good friend, comedy big brother, Big Iris J. So if you're in the Valley, come over, get yourself some tickets, come on over and check us out. Friday night, Saturday night. I would not wait till the last minute. It's not a large room, so they sell out quickly when they sell out.
Can you get me a ticket?
Not after this podcast. Not after this.
I'll buy my own ticket.
Not after this podcast performance. But yeah, you guys come on over, check it out. The link will be up on my website later this week. So just go to SydneySmithCreative.com and you'll be able to get your tickets over there. Also, don't forget to check out the Patreon. There's a total of three, excuse me. I'm a little tired too, so excuse me. A total of 3 podcasts under the You Hear Good
Giving me
Things.
all that garbage.
Quiet lady. There's
Can't even get the words out.
Your fucking dogs are driving me nuts. There's a total of 3 podcasts under the You Hear Good Things podcast network. That's this one, the True Crime Podcast, Murray's Podcast, and then Not As Debatable that I do with Deion Curry.
This is the best one.
They are all equally good. So if you like this one, I think you'll like the other. Everything's not meant for everybody.
I'm just saying.
I'm
on this one, so this one's the best.
I expect. Wow, the ego on you. What did Kobe Bryant's spirit?
No, I did listen to your podcast on my way to work today. The Now That's Debatable podcast.
Yeah, you've listened to it before.
I listen to it often.
Yeah,
just not while you're recording it because I'm usually out there trying to keep the dogs quiet.
Yeah. So anyway, there's 3 different podcasts, so you can check those out as well, and bonus stuff going on with those also. Yeah, this is fun, man. I like this. Episode 1 was good. Episode 2 could have been better. So get your shit together for episode 3.
Yeah, I'll try better next time.
Like you're holding the show back, bro.
I'm sorry. I'll step it up.
You know, get excited like you do when one of your goofy movies comes on the screen.
I'll try.
We need to go see a movie. We need to go see Insidious 3, though.
We need to sprinkle some glitter on your desk.
No, we need to see Insidious 3, though.
No, thank you.
Yes.
I don't love horror movies. Why do you force me to watch those? I watch all of them with my hands over my eyes.
First of all, don't say force. Be careful with the F word. Now people think you're in an abusive relationship. The next thing is you do not watch it with your hands over your eyes. You watch it with your hands in the popcorn and over in my nachos. That's how
Well,
watch
you
them at
don't
the
need
movie
all of
theater.
those nachos. I share my popcorn with you.
Only because you want some of my nachos. There's always a fucking rhyme or reason when you start sharing. Otherwise, you don't share anything. I always know you're gonna have your hands dipping in over here for something.
You don't need all of those nachos.
I don't. You know what's the crazy thing? I do not. I think the last time we went to the movies, like I don't think I'm getting any nachos because I don't even finish them.
No, you don't.
I don't even, and I love nachos.
I'll go see the movie with you.
I think I don't finish them because they don't have any meat on them. I think that's why I don't fucking finish them.
I'll go see your scary movie.
Oh, now you're gonna go see it after telling people you're forced to go do things.
I mean, you don't force me, but
But what?
I do it for you. I don't like those movies.
Just like Sexy Saturday. I don't force you, but you do it for me. And I'm very grateful that you do your Sexy Saturday booze. Hey guys, thank you guys very much again for listening to another Running in Slow Motion. Again, don't forget SydneySmithCreative.com. Go get your tickets. Check me out in a couple weeks over at Stir Crazy. Also check out our Patreon. As I always say on all the other podcasts, it helps keep everything going. So we would appreciate the support.
Have a wonderful night.
That's not how we end the show. See what you just did?
Well,
Okay, I've been Sidney Smith.
I've been way last time.
Look, you've been off all day. This is crap. Crap, you're breaking up the Beatles.
Okay, let's try again.
Okay, what we can do?
You do it again. I'll try better. I'll do better this time.
All right, guys. Don't forget SydneySmithCreative.com. Go check out, get those tickets over at Stir Crazy. I expect to see you there. And check out the Patreon while you're over there, too. I've been Sidney Smith.
And I've been Tamra Smith.
And this has been Running in Slow Motion. This is so lame. We'll see you guys next week.
Have a good week.